Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in my basic workshop. We'll be back at the normal one tonight. Anyways, we got a new project today. I should have faced it this way. I have knobs right here. Just took them off. 1950 Trav-ler 5022. Never seen this type. Never worked on this type. I cut the power cord because it was dry rotting and it had this crappy plug on it. Where'd it go? I don't know, it's a piece of junk anyways. But yeah, so new project for the same person that I worked on the alarm clock for. This is a nice one. Looks to be not really original, but original enough. And we're gonna see if we can get it working. So right now in the normal, or the not so normal workshop, I'm just gonna go through and just see what we're looking at. I just wanted to give her a price range before I did anything. It's pretty cool. We got this back plate on here too. Just clicks on. Alrighty. After filing divorce and then making up and then filing again, then kind of making up, only to probably file again next week with my soldering iron because it's really not doing good. My school grade soldering iron. I was able to get these antenna things off. So I guess I just unscrew these two screws and this thing pops out or something like that. Uh-oh, it appears I disturbed someone's residency. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gone now. Let's take a look in here. It doesn't look like there's any markings. There's almost not a, this is a very cramped chassis. There's just a bunch of capacitors and all sorts of fun junk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10, 11, 12 on top. I don't know. Wow, okay. Corrosion. Okay, if I can't tell what is original and what isn't. I'm looking, let me get a pen here. So, I don't know. I just couldn't tell you. Let's take a look at the electrolytics though. It doesn't look like they've really, they're not puking their guts out. And these capacitors are bad. They look hosed. They're sad. Looks like spiders really, it's a dry rotted spider nest in there. Ew, it's weird. This thing, selenium rectifier, literally the last thing on earth I ever, oh hey, I think I found the remains of the guy who lived here. He's a little toast, but that's cool. You had yourself a little home. I like how spiders just make themselves homes and die, you know? It's really wholesome. This is wild looking. I almost wonder if this, ugh, I don't want to touch the front. It's too many spider webs. Looks like this thing's stuck, which is really odd. Everything just needs a lot of lubrication. I think this thing sat probably outside for a while or something like that. Lots of dry rot. How's these wires looking? You always want to be careful of these wires right here because if you look at them too much or you touch them or something funny, they crack. Looks like they still have a little bit of rubberiness to them. They're on their way out. Now, for the sake of not charging the customer too much, I'm gonna let it be. This resistor looks a little cooked. It's not bad, but it's crispy looking. It's gone from selenium rectifier to something else I can't see. Let's just pop this guy. That scared me. There's something funny. I don't know. Oh, wait, there's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if I counted this one or not. They're all standard values. I might argue this thing's about original. Looking at the top, that's the same exact electrolytic as, what's that? Green. Okay, so this has 1, 2, probably 2, 3 capacitors in there. I do think everything here was on its way out by the time this thing was decommissioned. It's gonna take a heck of a lot to get this thing back up in good running shape. That's dry rotted right there. Okay, that's kind of toast. All these wires are kind of toast. I think I might just take them out because here's the thing. I know that no one is actually going to use these portable features. Maybe they will actually. Okay, you know what I'll do? It's just, when people leave wires like that burnt, it just bothers me because with that just, I don't know. I just don't like it. So maybe I'll cut it here and then shrink tube and add more new wire. I don't know. I can't decide. This is really complicated. It's definitely not a beginner set, but it'll be easy. I just hate working on selenium rectifiers because it just takes up so much space. Just all of it. It'll be fine. Okay, well, we did our evaluation. I'm gonna price this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. So we're back in the normal shop, and I think I already went through this thing with all of you. Lovely, oh so amazing individuals. I guess I'm just back for part 2 tonight of work on this piece of junk radio. Hopefully we can unpiece of junk it. That's the goal. So, yeah, let's get this thing disassembled and just start cracking down on it. I think I've got about an hour. I think I should be able to finish this setup real fast. And then next time on the channel, hopefully I can just make, where'd the knobs go? Oh, they're right here. Ah, where's our third knob? Oh, it's trapped. Hang on. Get out. Come with me. Oh no. Oh, it's even more trapped. Oh. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna throw everything right here. So it's nice that everything comes apart on this radio. So the Bakelite front and this piece, which is lovely to have, it all comes off, which is great in my case. So I'm gonna put it back here in a safe place behind the camera. We're gonna throw these screws right here in a safe place, and the backing, I'm just gonna leave the backing with that as well. And let's dive in. So I did cut the power cord. It had the original power cord from 1950, but it's getting hard. And I know if this is a customer, they're gonna come to me once, not really customer, more friend. They're gonna come to me once and they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I need this and this to happen, and I can't wait to use this radio all the time. When they say all the time, I flinch and I just basically, you know, realize that, okay, we're going for not just to get this thing running and on display, but also, you know, we want it to be reliable in the long term, and thus I must work more, do more work for said friend. So in that case, this is the tiniest little radio I've ever worked on, and really we can just dive right in. I know this radio is not very common, so I'm going to try and record as much as I can here and help you guys, just in case. I realize more and more the importance of going slow and explaining every step of the way to everyone. So in that case, I'll do so. Number 1 on the list here is just the normal capacitors. There is one under this electrolytic, but we'll get it after the electrolytic. So this is a 100 microfarad, 25 volts electrolytic. And I do have that value, just not at 25 volts. It's a little low compared to normal, actually. Believe it or not. Another 50 microfarad. 100 microfarad, I only have 400 volt. That's okay, they're about the same size. I know where plus and minus go. So it looks like this set has a floating ground on just about everything. Every wire is on its way out, and I'm not going to touch them as a result. I'm actually just going to replace what's already crumbling. And I say that because this is not my own set, which I should actually replace the wiring for. The thing is, I'm not trying to charge this person too much money, and I know that she's gonna walk away if I charge her all that much, so. It's not gonna be pretty if I charge so much. Now we got a bunch of wax right here, and what I'm just gonna do is try and see if I can get down to the value here with my X-Acto knife. And I gotta be honest, I can't see it. I think I saw a 0.05. I think that's what that is. So I'm gonna go back here, get a 0.05. Now, I thought, why not, okay. I came across a channel, I think it's called Joe something something. His name's John, seems like a cool guy. And he saved me on this Philco 630B that I'm restoring. And it's got a shadow meter. It's really cool. I'm going to post a video on it, and then probably, I don't know. As of right now, maybe tonight. But I'm not sure. It just depends on a lot of factors. I know I'm going to make probably a 2-part video out of that one. So we'll see. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward when it comes to replacing these. Why not I show you how to do this? So, hopefully, yeah, you all can see. There's 2 little leads, right, of course, that come out of these things. What you do is, if you can't unsolder them, you can clip them with wire cutters, but leave the other side in. That was a big mistake I made in the beginning. In this case, there is one side that I can actually unsolder because someone didn't do the greatest job. And they just kind of left it in a funny place, like so. You can see these wax-covered wires from these capacitors going bad. Just melting everywhere. Now what I'm going to do is, to save space, I'm going to cut these, I think. No, you know what? Give me a second on the cutting of those. I'm not going to cut those quite yet. What I will do, though, is recognize where this thing goes. So if we're looking, it's going to go right here on this little terminal. So see how messed up this is. Imagine that thing in your radio. Well, that was the reality back in the day. So now what you're going to do here is not leave too much going here, but just enough that it will solder and sit comfortably, just like so. Ow! Ow! And don't poke yourself either, because you're going to get like an infection or something. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first apply some solder to make sure that this thing can soften up nice and easy. Okay. Then we're just gonna kindly just apply pressure and apply a little more solder. And now we have 1/2 the capacitor added. Now here, this guy, it looks like whoever last touched this thing did a really crappy job and really just kind of slapped these things on there. And I don't like the job he did at all. That's 0.05. What is this? That's 0.05. So here's what we're gonna do. Instead of just sitting around and letting things pile and things be a pain, I'm going to recognize the fact that this capacitor here, one lead's going here. I'm gonna remember that because it's on footage. Always write stuff down, or just leave a little lead left, or just take a photo, do whatever you can, right, to remember. We have a good couple of wires. It looks like this is the universal ground for everything here, right? Everything follows this ground. This is clearly a floating ground set here. Let's get that light a little better. So now what I'm gonna do is see if I can perhaps just tug on a little bit of the things and see what I can break loose here. Okay, so this negative of the electrolytic, this thing, oops, I'm sorry. I'll just pull this out of the camera. This negative right here is coming out nice and easy. I gotta be careful because these wires are corroding and I don't know where this is gonna go. But just take note always of just your different stuff. So we've got that going right there. It does look like this radio was most likely given like a full servicing. Now this is the part which I do really enjoy, mainly simply because the tool is easy to use. This is a solder sucker here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna heat up the solder, put this thing on the solder and just suck it up. That's literally how it works. Now, I'd be a little more careful here if, say, you're trying to unsolder everything and there's a resistor present. And I say that because what's gonna happen at some point is you're probably gonna end up melting that resistor. It's gonna overheat and it's gonna die. Okay, so there's a bunch of little bits and pieces of wire in here. I'm not sure if you can see all of that, but basically, here we go. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. It all just comes off nice and easy because this is older than your grandma and grandpa if you're a teenager. And in fact, it clips right off with this capacitor. And now what I can actually do is just clip the negative lead of electrolytic off of this thing. And boom. So now we have a bunch of room and we have just in general more everything to work with, right? It looks like we have a random wire that needs to be cut back further for safety. And then what we're gonna do is, in always these cases, we're gonna have a mechanical connection. Now, hopefully you understand, you know, there's always that spiritual connection, but here you want a mechanical connection. What that's going to ensure is that, you know, it's not just gonna break Super easy. Now let's check. That's a 0.1 right here. So what I'm gonna do is take my 0.1, right out, and I'm recognizing that this 0.1 is going to that ground, chassis ground. So in that case, it pops out just like that, right? Okay, remember, we have these two, we still have to do two that connect to that ground. That's okay, we'll get to it. Now, here's what we're gonna do here. We're not gonna short it entirely, we're just gonna cut that in half. And what you wanna do is you don't want your leads too long enough to where they'll do what you want them to do. Then what you do is you bend that up, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook it around this little, just a little hole that I left in the loop for this capacitor here. Any little hole really will work. In this case, just like so. If it will just kind of bend around. Really got to play with it, but I got it to hook together, which is great. So now what's going to happen here is, now sometimes you do want to shield things off, but to me it's kind of like if it's nice and sturdy, right? It's not really going anywhere, and there's nothing it can truly make contact with on either side. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so just like that, we've got that going. That's nice and solid, and now because this old solder is no good, we gotta melt it all off and just apply a nice and generous amount of new solder. Let that cool before you lick it. Nice, so 0.1, 0.05. This right here is another 0.05. And this one goes all the way back there. Back into the little bit of the abyss, not really the abyss. So I'm gonna have to scooch a couple of components aside. I'm gonna slide this over like here. And we're gonna unsolder just like so from right there. Now the plan is, what we're gonna do is, now I know I said leave one lead on always, but sometimes you actually remember you don't need to do anything. So that's great in my case. So what we're gonna do here is, in this case, we do need shielding, and I can actually just reuse this and save myself stress, time, and money, right? Because we all need to do that these days. So we're gonna take this guy, I'm gonna weave it through a couple of the wires. I'm seeing some tiny bits of cracking here and there. Nothing horrific, nothing intolerable. And some of these wires, really, if you don't screw with them, they don't screw with you. And I like that saying a lot because it really does apply to this. Okay. Recognizing the power cord does connect to here, I'm not going to do a crazy tight mechanical bond here because I want to be able to pull this off when the time comes to replace that power cord. I just want it to be a good enough bond to where, you know, it'll be good. It won't go anywhere. All right, well, I think I've explained enough. This video is already about maybe 19, 20 minutes, 24, 25 minutes too long. I'm just gonna get this thing done. I'm gonna go to town on all the capacitors, and I'll see you then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's still October 14th, 13th, I don't know, it's the 13th or the 14th. I think it's the 14th. Anyways, here's the work we've done. We've replaced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 capacitors. One half of the power cord's installed, the other half is somewhere down there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 capacitors to go. I'll come back tomorrow night, finish that, and then we can finish up the cabinet and push this radio out of here. Oh, I'm sorry, the selenium rectifier has to go too. That's like the final thing, because I forgot how to replace it and I have to go through an old radio and look. I already know you need a 100 ohm, 100, or yeah, wait, isn't it like 100 ohm, 100 watt resistor or something? 10 watt, I don't know. It's somewhere. I know how to do it. I have the resistors and I have everything. And terminal strips. We'll see. So I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components to go. That's pretty good. We made good progress in the little half an hour we worked on this thing. That's pretty good. All right, I'll catch you guys maybe tomorrow. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's one of these days, and we're back at it again at the Trav-ler. Now, I've already recapped it, so I'll give you an update. 1, 2 capacitors replaced, power cord put in place. The other 2 electrolytics were replaced. I restuffed the can, so it's nice and happy as it is. That's about it. So next, what we're probably gonna do is we're gonna see if we can free up this tuning system. Does not want to budge right now, but that's okay because we're gonna solve this right now with some tri-flow. Just a little. There we go. See how much that just freed itself up, and then what we're gonna do, just dab a little. On the inside, I guess you couldn't see it. Okay. And now, what I'm gonna do is brush. Okay. Oh, I guess you can't see it. Hang on. Okay, so you can see the bearings down in there. I'm just gonna brush everything off. We're gonna brush everything off after we get it going here in a hot second. Just wanna make sure this thing will run. Okay. I know this thing is really stuck for some reason, which is interesting. I'm not sure why it's arguing. We'll just do a little dab of oil. There we go. There we go. And just like that, the tuning system is free at last, which is absolutely outstanding. It sounds like the blades are going against each other, which is not what we want, but at the same time, no one's tuning down to such a frequency of 55, so I don't really care, to be very honest with you. I like how you can't even see this. Okay, so now that we've done that prep, let's do two more things. So number one, we're gonna spray WD in some bits. So I'm just gonna real quick get the WD. And the knobs. Definitely don't want to get shocked as soon as I turn this thing on. As much as a shock it might be, I wish not to be shocked. Okay, so I think we're good now on that. Now here's what we're gonna do here. To each their own on their methodology of, you know, cleaning things out and controls. I'm just gonna okay, and the volume pot. It's always good to use contact cleaner in these, but sometimes WD-40 is actually what you want to use because it lubricates it. Could you be any louder? Gosh. WD lubricates everything and reduces the wear on carbon bits of everything. Oh, I suppose we need an antenna, huh? Let's see here. Where is my... Bingo, that's what I need. Okay. So here's the plan. I gotta be very careful when I power this thing on because it hasn't been powered in a while. No, there's no variac. I need a variac. I already know that. Let's just widen that view right there. So here's what we're gonna do. Because it does require an antenna, we're gonna solder this one into circuit. It's gonna be a ginormous antenna, but it'll do the trick. So, give me a second here. So where the antenna solders in is on the back. And so you just add some solder. And you solder this hunk of craziness on the back of it. Check. All sorts of old solder. It smells very, what's the word? Old. All right, let's see if I can fire this thing up. So to my knowledge, it just fires up just one little thing. So we have this thing going to a power strip. All is off, all the tubes are in. Turn that off. Okay. You. No smoke there. And you. Now the question is why there's no output. Looks like we're not getting any sound at all. And if we look under the hood, it doesn't sound like we're getting anything, which is not a great sign. Okay, so the question is now if one of these tubes, 1, 2, 3, 4 tubes are blown. That's interesting. That's why it has a selenium rectifier, because it doesn't actually have a rectifier tube in it. They actually went with 4 tubes. That's really unique. Okay, give me a hot second here. Okay, that's really weird. I was expecting it to actually have like an output and at least say something to me, whether that would be it sparking, humming, or doing anything, and it's not turning on at all. I mean, it's supposed to turn on instantly, and it's not doing anything at all. That's kind of weird. So anyways, we're gonna figure it out, but it's really weird. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's too many days now since we started this restoration. Basically, radio's still dead, but we've gotten some progress in testing here. So I've just relied on this schematic mainly because this is the most accurate one, the best one that I like. So basically, it's the easiest to read too. So I've been going through testing voltages. Everything seems okay except for up here, and I'll explain. So I ran all sorts of tests through this whole thing, and basically past R15 is where we have problems. R12 is doing what it should be doing, but what's it called? R13 is having problems. So let's call this the first, second, and third terminal. And right here, if we're looking right, first, second, third terminal right there. And so basically what's happening is from here to here should be measuring, what is that? 1.05K right there. You can see it. I might be reading this wrong, but regardless of it all, there's obviously something wrong, because from 1 to 3, this guy to that guy, we should probably be measuring like 2100 ohms if I'm thinking correctly. And then the 1.05K ohms from second to third, and the multimeter wouldn't even contemplate what the heck was going on. So basically that's the deal. We aren't having any voltage coming from that to that or from here to here at all, to my knowledge. Thus, dead power supply, thus I think our problem. Might be wrong, I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's coming up on winter and fall and all my least favorite times of the year. And just broke out the garage heater. It was full of dust and spiders and all this other fun stuff. But anyways, it's back. We're nice and warm again. Let's get working on that guy. Let me just get a screwdriver. All right, so I think the plan is, as much as the rust is a problem around this radio on the screws, let's see if I can. Okay, anyways, after filing for divorce with all the screws, we now have the radio separated. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put some leather conditioner on this thing. And I'm pretty sure, because this is vinyl, I think it should help a little bit there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through, clean the crap out of that thing. And go from there. So let's get my towel. Beeswax on it. Okay. I'm just gonna put one glove. I always put on a glove because I just don't like having greasy hands. It's not that beeswax is gonna kill me if I touch it. It's just, I think I'm just one of those people that just don't like having greasy hands. Yeah, so put there on the sides. This is the first radio I've worked on where the leather is in fact all intact on these things. Usually it's long since dry rotted off of the radio, but I guess here we got lucky. Now I don't know what's gonna happen if I put this on here. It's not gonna hurt it, but maybe it'll do some love for the vinyl too. Because this is, well, it's not really vinyl, but whatever. Maybe it'll do something. All right, we'll come back in a couple of minutes and see what happens there. Okay, so, no, I need that. Hang on, okay. Lovely, okay. It's polishing time. Now, we're gonna do what I always do and use the Blitz, cleaning wax. That should make this thing come back nice and easy. I'm going to do the same for the knobs. I'm going to pull them off of the radio and polish them. Oh, don't you love it when things hit the floor because you know they're not coming? Thank goodness I just got lucky. Okay. I guess what I should first of all do is we got a bunch of dust in the speaker area. Just kind of take that all out. Yeah, it's kind of gross. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go my, let's see here. Do I have a sponge in here by chance? Oh, I can just get some actual cleaning products and just literally just wipe this thing down real quick. Okay, it seems like it's doing something because that looks like that and that looks like that. I mean, it's a little darker. Still haven't taken any of the cleaner off the leather. I think I'm just gonna apply it all over the thing and just let it sit forever. Because I don't really have much better to do. I polished the knobs, polished this up. This is looking okay. You know, it's not gonna be perfect. I don't really care if it's perfect. I don't really care to Dremel the screws because this is all rusty here. It'd be cool, but I don't care to. I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some more and then call it a day because I have Spanish class duties to do. Okay, yeah, so before I real quick wrap up, I covered the entire thing in Skidmore's, and that's good to go. Come over here. So here's what's gonna happen. Final verdict, faulty resistor. So I'm just gonna order I'm gonna order a couple of things. Number one, we're probably gonna make a terminal strip out of this thing, or like, you know, put it in its place, I mean. And then we're gonna take two 1K resistors and just put them in parallel, or not parallel, series. And then from there, other fun stuff will happen. So that's how we do it. Oh, plus the 50 ohm as well, going around. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's day 3, question mark, 2, 3, 4, 2, 7, 8 of working on the Trav-ler. It's looking great, actually. The beeswax, for some reason, did the finish some good stuff. It's not perfect, but I'm not looking for perfection. That's what they all say. Anyways, throw the front back on this thing. And I forgot about one little extra bit that I'm gonna have to polish today, which is this thing, the plastic. Yeah, that's gonna polish out really good. I'm gonna make sure that looks brand new. I figured you guys might want to see this. So, okay, right, we've got the radio going, that's going good, but we're gonna, oh crap, did I just lose it? No, it's right here on the side. We're gonna polish this plastic piece right here. So I thought I would show you guys the transformation in real time. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit it with this, and we're gonna hit it with the Meguiar's. And hopefully that'll do the trick. Oh, where'd my microfiber go? So, let's hit it both sides with this stuff. Let's take a look. Just a bunch of it. Very generous of me, you know? Big difference already. Oh yeah, big difference. Okay, let's do another round. And we gotta get the sides too. You really just want to work this stuff in. Okay. That's probably good. I'm just gonna wipe it off camera. Okay, now it looks pretty foggy still. That's because we haven't done the back. So we're about to do the back now. And to prevent further scratching, I know this thing's already screwed up enough and it's gonna get screwed up further in its life. We're just gonna do the inside now. Just making sure to get every little corner and crevice the best I can. right? Okay. Make sure to really wipe out those corners. Just kind of get everything out of there. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I mean, that's great. That's looking good already. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through with our other polish. We're gonna see how good we can get it now. Okay. It's already looking better. That's really good looking. That's pretty good. Let's get a bunch on there. Go to town one more time. Okay. Look how there's just little chunks of plastic breaking off of this old thing. As we polish it. I don't really care, because it just doesn't really matter. Okay. Inside. Well, I mean, okay. Compared to what we had going before, that's pretty good. So if we throw that in there, there's no complaints on that. I mean, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And what I can do is I can just take some glue and just glue it in. No, actually, I'm gonna keep it loose for whoever works on this thing next, and then we can just let it sit just under natural compression, whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is day too many days. I'm gonna charge this lady like crazy for. Oh, I hope she's not watching this, but anyways, I'm gonna have to charge because this is driving me nuts. Anyways, we're working on the set again. Hopefully this is the piece of junk that led to the failure of this thing. We've got both new resistors in there. If I'm looking carefully, nothing's making unwanted connections. Everything's connecting where I want it to be. I'm a little congested because I'm sick. Let's fire it up. Okay. So, I know there's no antenna, but as long as we get power and sound, I'm happy. So nothing's happening there. Yeah! Woohoo! That's radio. Woohoo! We solved it. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Woohoo! Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Okay, we got life. We've got life, ladies and gentlemen. We've got life. And just like that, that's a win for the night. That's all I wanted to see happen today. So now, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to pull all the tubes out and I'm going to dust this thing out. And then I'm going to put it back in the set. and fasten these, of course, like I said I would, and call it a night. So, yippee for good stuff like that. Wow, I was not expecting that to run. That is so cool. Okay, I'm gonna crank Led Zeppelin now and celebrate. Woohoo! Okay, so real quick, one more thing before I finish up. I want to say I did replace the selenium rectifier. It's really easy to replace these. I'll give you a quick run through. So if you're looking, we have a plus. We have, assume this is the minus if this says plus and this doesn't. That plus, if we're looking at the schematic, that plus is this marking right here, that little line. You see that on the right of that symbol? So you have the arrow and the plus. R15 is this guy, right? Okay, so you've got that, and then obviously R3 is not on the plus side. So basically, the way you translate that to a diode is you take, of course, 10 watt, 100 ohm, and basically you hook this up to the side of the 1N004 something diode. So like in this case, you see how one side is a line? So where that silver line is going to be where that is, basically, right? And so I hook that up to there, make sure nothing's touching, everything's good. This goes to the side without the line. And make sure there's a resistor in between the different points, and you're good to go. So let's plug this in, make sure it still works. Oh yeah.
It's already working in and through each news story. So by the time we read about it,
that's pretty good. Oh, you can't see any of the tube filament, but that's okay.
Scripture are keys to help your girl's heart and mind trust a sovereign God and to practice a
Anyhow, whoopee. So well, it looks like it's done, so that's cool. Turned out pretty good, actually. I'll give it that. It's nice to have this thing off the bench. So now I'm about to make bank, which is great because I need the money for diesel. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.